Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, Handmade Angler by DJL Floats. So today I'm at a place, Edmondsley Lake, local club lake, lovely little pond, full of fish. It's a very cold day, it was freezing last night, so I'm expecting a slow start, but the idea today I'm just going to fish the Waggler, some teasel wagglers that I've made. So they're quite delicate, very fine floats, ideal for silvers. So I'm going to target roach, possibly with some F1s if they make an appearance. I'm just going to fish caster shallow. But I'm going to start off on the bottom, with it being a cold night, so I think the fish are going to be on the bottom. But then I'm going to shallow up during the day and keep feeding. Hopefully I get them going up in the water. Very calm day, no wind, flat calm conditions, but it is cold. Had a hard frost last night as well, so I am expecting a slow start, but hopefully I'll get a few fish. Like I say, a simple day's fishing just on the Waggler in winter, fishing caster shallow. I've got some maggots here as well, just in case it doesn't seem to work out. And I've got a tin of corn, so see how it goes. If I start getting the F1s feeding quite well, I might give the corn a go later on as well. But my main target today is going to be silvers. So if you like the video, please like my channel, please subscribe to my channel, and there'll be plenty more videos coming along. Thanks for watching. Right guys, so what I'm going to be using, so firstly, the rod I'm using, this is the one I'm going to start on. I'm going to fish on the bottom with the Waggler, just on caster and maggot. I'm going to alternate bait, just go with how many bites I'm getting. So the rod I'm using, JW Young 30-foot specimen float rod. It's a little bit heavier, just with us fishing on the bottom. I'm expecting a few F1s at some point today, so just they go to around £3, so it gives us just a bit of strength. Plus there's loads of carp in, but obviously I'm targeting roach, but it just gives us that chance. So that's what I'm going to be using there. The reel I'm using is a Matrix Aquas Ultra 4000, really nice reel. I use for my tench fishing. So that's the reel I'm using. Not sure if you can see. The floats I'm using, these handmade floats I've made, beautiful, made from teasel. So the one I'll be using on the bottom is this one, 7BB, so just over 3 AAA. Hopefully you'll be able to see. Beautiful little float. This is actually made out of sarkander reed, sorry, not teasel. This is one I'm going to be using for fishing on the bottom. And then on the shallow rig, I'm going to be using this one. Now, this is made from teasel, it's very delicate. Probably not use that, a little bit heavier I think I need. Alright, what's this? Yeah, I'll use this one. So again, this is teasel, hopefully you can see the design. Beautiful float. This is the same size, but it's a bit smaller. So obviously I'm going to fish, I'll only be using this about 2 foot deep, 1.5 foot, 2 foot, and I'm going to just constantly feed caster over the top. And that's the one I'm going to hope that I get a few fish on. Currently I'm the only one on the pond, so that's nice. Usually there's loads of people. It's actually the first time I fished on a weekend, so I'm surprised. Hopefully it stays like this, because I'm not the most confident on the phone at the minute with doing videos, so it gives us a little bit chance to get a decent video done. So I'm going to get set up. I'm going to use a size 18 wide gape thread and match barbless. I'm going to use that on the hook. It's wide gape, so it's ideal for caster and obviously maggot as well, just when you're constantly catching, hopefully. The line I'm using is 3.2 beer pearl on main line, and I'm going to use this £1 10 ounce. I'm going to use this as a hook length. So I'm going to be fishing quite light. I'll be doing that on the shallow rig. On the deeper rig, I'm just going to fish 3.2 straight through in case I get any F1s. So thanks for watching. Cheers. So I showed you the deep rig that I'm using, the rod I'm using for the deep rig. So I'm going to show you what I'm using for the shallow rig. This is an Ambassador Abu Garcia. The rod's probably as old as me. Beautiful rod. Very light as well, so it's ideal, but it's quite strong, quite powerful. So I'm going to use this for fishing shallow. Lovely rod. The reel could do with a bit of a clean. It's a Shimano 1000. To be honest, I'm not totally sure. I got this given off my old man, so it needs a good cleaning. It's It's been obviously put away in his garage for years, so it's another old reel, but I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to use it for today. I'm just going to fish 3.2 beer pearl on with a 110 rig line, Team England rig line, and I'm just going to spray a caster and I'm going to fish shallow, and I'm hopefully going to catch a few fish. So if you like the video, please subscribe to my channel, and please like the videos. It really helps us grow. Right, so I'm going to get the deep rig set up now. Do that first. Normally I'd feed hemp, but with us trying to get them up off the bottom, I'm not going to put any hemp in today. But you can see a few fish starting to top already, so it's a good sign. I've got a little robin as well that I'm feeding, starting to feed, which is always nice. It's full of wildlife here, it's a lovely pond, well looked after. Also made some silicone float adapters. There's a video on YouTube if you're interested in how to make them. Obviously I'm going to be using them in case I need to change the float during the day. You can see the float adapter just fits on, it's dead easy to make. So like I say, if you're interested in that, just have a look through my channel and you'll come across it. This peg's about 4 foot deep, but I will be fishing slightly over depth on this. I'm expecting a lot of gudgeon because the ponds are like black with them, but hopefully we can get through the gudgeon and get a few roach. Like I say, it's a lovely little pond. I've seen when I've fished here, I've had owls, 20 owls flew over my head on this peg, funnily enough. There's water voles, sometimes you see them. There's a pair of red kites, which I haven't seen, but I've heard about. There's a pair of buzzards that breed in the field behind, in the forest. So it's full of wildlife. It's a lovely, like I say, it's a lovely little pond, which if you're like me and you go fishing for the wildlife as well as the fishing, can't really get much better, to be honest. Right, so just see what it's like for casting. Brilliant. Obviously with the way the water is, the light on the water, it's probably going to be quite difficult to see without my glasses, so I will be wearing them. Starting to see a few fish top now as well, so that's a good sign, especially when I'm going to try and catch them shallow. The float's going to be quite low down as well. Right, so I'm happy with that, so I'll leave that there for a second or two. So I'll put the hook on. With it being flat calm, although I'll be fishing on the bottom on this rig, I do think I'll pick a few fish up on the drop as the day goes on. So what I'll be doing, I'll be spreading 3 number 8s out down the line, and that'll act as a dropper shot, and I should get a few fish on the drop. Like I say, I'm not putting hemp in, I'm just heard a woodpecker as well. Normally a great spotted woodpecker on the tree behind, see during the spring and summer, so that's nice. Good signs of spring. Hopefully you can hear that. See if you can hear it. There we go. So this is, like I say, this is Edmondsley Pond. It's part of Langley Club, Langley Park Angling Club, northeast of England. You can't fish it on a day ticket, but to join it's £50 a year. But it's, like I say, it's well worth it. So, like I said, I'm gonna 3 number 8s down the line. I'll probably need to change the shotting pattern around the float tip, because I think this will be slightly too heavy now. But so 3 number 8 evenly spaced. And then obviously I already know the depth, which this is going to be on the bottom, which is why I haven't plumbed up. Obviously I would advise to plumb up if you're fishing like a water you don't know, but with this being over depth, I'm going to fish about a foot over depth, which is what I am here. So if obviously I wanted to fish dead depth, I'd be plumbing the depth, but I would always say to do that unless you're really familiar with the water. So what I'll do, hopefully you'll be able to see this. Not sure you will be able to, but I'll try. So size 18 Drennan wide gape, number 8, number 8, number 8, and then I've got my teasel float sitting up there. Hopefully you can, sorry, this is the Sarkander Reed one, but this is the one I'm going to be using on the bottom. So hopefully I'll get a few fish on that. So we'll get the shallow rod set up soon. So thanks for watching, guys. Right, so we're going to set up the shallow rig now. So that's a teasel float. Lovely design. Float adapter in case I need to change the colour of the float. Hopefully it'll be okay. Something I always do when I set the float up, hopefully you'll be able to see. Notice how I leave a gap between the float, the eye of the float, and the shot. What this allows is when you're fishing, get hold of it, your line will hang directly. Hopefully you'll be able to see that. It'll hang directly from the float. Whereas if all the shot was just attached together, it would like hang from the shot, if that makes sense. It would hang like that. Just again, just for neatness. I do need some better line on this. I thought it was okay, but it's not great. But I say just a simple day's fishing. I haven't been out. I think I've only been out once all winter or twice. So it's just nice to get out. But I do think we'll catch a few fish today, so it should be good. So with this fishing shallow, I'm going to snip it about there. I'm just going to use a little hook length. I think this here, what is it? 110 Team England rig line. So what we'll do first, use the same hook, wide gape. Always use a bit of spit when you tie your hooks. I will do another video on how to tie these hook lengths, because obviously you'll not be able to see on the bank. But there's just filming on my own. I will do a video. These are the hook lengths I always use. You can do the loop, but it's no comparison in neatness to the water knot. And with us tying the hook on to the hook length first, it just gives it a bit weird when you drop the hook in, like through the loop. It's neat enough, but not. Obviously, you won't be able to see that, but so much neater than the loop knot. So fishing shallow, so just a couple of foot, and I'm gonna have again. I'll just put 3 number 8s down the line, evenly spread. And that will hopefully get a few fish up in the water. That's it. I don't think you'll be able to see very well, but I'll show you anyway. And that's basically both rods set up. So I'm going to just neaten up my gear, get my bait sorted. I'll go through my bait as well, and then we'll get fishing. Right, so I'm going to go through the bait I'm using. So this is the priority bait that I'm going to be using, my main bait, just caster. I've got a couple of pints, but I'm only going to start with a pint because I don't think I'll go through much more than that today with the time of year. And I've got a pint of maggots, well nearly 2 pints here, but that's more of a backup if the casters aren't working. I've got a tin of corn, I've got a bag of hemp. It's still frozen, but this again, it's just if I'm not catching shallow, I'll just go on corn later and I'll fish sweet corn over a bit of hemp seed and see if I can get some carp at F1s. Sweet corn, I would say open it at home before you come out. I mean, if you're responsible, I'm responsible, I don't leave litter. But a lot of people seem to leave empty tins, which really annoys us. Too much wildlife gets harmed, so if you're gonna take corn in a tin, make sure you take the tin home. I'm not patronising, but it really is my pet hate when it comes to fishing, that and litter. But anyway, so for me casters, obviously some water to keep it in. What I do, something sweet during the winter for roach, so I use this bream. It's Van der Nine bream, it smells lovely. So what I'll be doing is just put a little drop in the water. You don't need much. That was probably too much, to be honest, but you don't need a lot. Give it a mix in the water and then just drop your casters in. And it just gives them a sweet smell in the water. I mean, just my own preference. Like I say, be fishing that, feeding them constantly, and hopefully we'll get a few up in the water. Like I say, we've got maggot there just in case, but hopefully I won't be using them. Hopefully I'll be catching plenty on the caster. So get that next to us ready, and then we're ready to start fishing. So I'll just get my sunglasses on and away we go. Thanks for watching. Right, so I'm about to start. The camera's zoomed in, so hopefully you'll see a few bites on the float. Gonna fish single caster, and I'm just gonna feed constantly. Nothing else is gonna go in at the minute. Hopefully we'll get a few fish. I'll give it another minute or so, then I'll reel in, check the bait and cast back out. But it is black with gudgeon in here, so if I put a maggot on, I'd expect a gudgeon pretty quickly, to be honest. Like I say, I'm half expecting bites on the drop soon. I just had a bite there, definitely a little bite, looks like a lift bite. Look at it. Yeah, I got my first fish, little lift bite, so there we have it, first gudgeon of the day on the caster. Obviously not what we're actively fishing for, but it's good to get off the mark. Not sure if you'll be able to see, but so a little gudgeon to start off, so no blank, which is always important. But again, with us fishing over depth, you expect a few lift bites. But hopefully when the roach move in, I'll get them shallow. which is obviously what we're looking for. But we're off the mark, we've got a fish. Hopefully there's plenty more to come. Drop a bite there. So, missed that one, but I was actually having a mouthful of coffee, or tea. But suddenly the bites have started. So just keep the feed going in, and then the roach will move in. I'm half expecting a carp, to be honest. I'm definitely expecting an F1 to get them going at some point, although it's not really what I'm here for. But there's that many of them in, sometimes it's hard to avoid them. Especially in the summer, you've got no chance of avoiding them when the weather warms up. But at the minute, I mean, they do feed through the winter, but they're not as confident. You can usually target different species. There's another bite. Little dip. So the bites are starting now. So we're going to keep it going, and then hopefully we'll be able to go on the shallow rig and catch a few roach. Bite up. There we go. That's the first roach of the day. Just what we came for. Lovely little roach. Just a couple ounces. Not very big. Hopefully you can see. But we're off the mark now for roach as well. So I'm going to have an hour on the bottom, and then we'll see what it's like shallow. The roach are there, which is a good sign. I'll also be doing a Tench fishing video, me and Jack. If you haven't subscribed to his channel, it's the Lone Angler. Right, it's starting to get bites now, so, but it's a Lone Angler. Jack is a good lad, local to me. We've only ever been fishing together once, that was during the winter. But we're looking forward to doing a few videos come the spring and summertime. We're going to be targeting Tench from another local lake. It's a rock hard fishery, but there's some big tench in. I've had them to over 7 pounds, so it's an estate lake. You literally fish for a bite. If you can get the tench going, really good. Very hard fishing, but well worth it. Very rewarding. So we'll be doing a couple of them videos. Also on Chester River, on the River Weir, we're going to do a couple of videos on there, although the fishing there is hard as well. But if it was all easy, you wouldn't do it, would you? We did a little touch on the reel, get some feed in and see what happens, and then I think we're going to give it a go shallow. Straight away I get a bite. So that just shows if you just move your line, you reel a little turn, basically moves your bait a little bit. Sometimes it does entice a bite. Right, we're going to have one more cast on the bottom now. I'm going to have a cast shallow just to see what happens. Because I do think the roach are up in the water at the minute. I'm expecting a bite straight away because I think they're following the caster down through the water, which is why I get my bites pretty much straight after the float settles. It's probably going to make us a liar after I said that. Normally the case. Like I say, we're getting a few bites now. There's another one. The bites aren't much, they're just dips. That took the caster. I do think they're following it down, so I'm going to have a cast now, shallow, and then just see what happens, because if I can get them going shallow, it's great fun, as you can imagine. Right, so the teas will float now. I'm surprised they're not actually hooping themselves. A lot of the time I'm struggling to hit the bites. But I'm getting bites, which is something that you can work on. Like I say, fishing the Waggler shallow in the middle of winter, you know, it's quite good really. Cracking little pond. Right, I'm going to add an extra little bit of depth on the rig because I'm missing far too many bites, which is a bit frustrating. But they are there, so I'm going to add 56 inches of depth on. See if this makes any difference. There we go, that's a better one. This was a maggot, despite this fish is feeding Costa. It's the first decent fish of the day. Oh, it's a lovely roach. What a lovely fish. Fishing shallow on February. Beautiful. Right, so hopefully that is a sign. Couple of casts on maggot and then we'll go back and cast it. See if we're a little bit more confident. But as I said earlier, if you're fishing a certain bait, if you just change your bait every so often, sometimes entices a few fish. Like I said, I got that big roach. Another bite. But the bites are starting to go a little bit more finicky now, so I'll have one more cast on the maggot and then I'll try the caster. And the missed bite. Right, so back on the caster now. Bait's not touched again, so they're definitely just grabbing it and then leave them go as soon as they feel the resistance. But if I go deeper, at the moment I just seem to be getting Gudgeon, so let's see. Have a couple of casts and then we'll see where we're at.